Hello, everybody. Directors. So glad to see you here. No, I didn't put this notice out far enough in advance. It was on the director page, but I didn't remind everybody soon enough. So we'll have the replay for those of you that couldn't be on. And we're just getting back from conference. And so I definitely wanted to keep our director meeting today so we can kind of discuss some of the things that we learned and kind of just talk that over. So those people that weren't able to attend conference, which I know everybody on here live is, some of the people watching the playback that didn't watch it, they can still, benefit from this call too. So let me just start by saying conference for me was off the chart. And I didn't get to go to a lot of the breakouts. What was off the chart for me was the community, the time together, just us being together. Like that is what I thrive on. That's what I love. That's what inspires and motivates me. And that, like, I have all the great feelings about that. So I want to kind of hear from you all. What was your general takeaway from conference and how are you feeling since then? So I'm going to give you all, I'm going to mute myself. And so I want to hear what you all have to say.
Okay, I'll go first, I guess. My biggest takeaways or things that I'm excited about would be the marketing kitchen. I'm hoping that that will be a one-stop shop for all of my social media and hopefully save me some time editing and all that. We'll see though, because I know that the videos can only be done on your phone and not your laptop. And I'm a big screen kind of girl, so we'll see how that part plays out. And then the other thing was I really, of course, enjoyed chatting with our team and brainstorming and sharing ideas, but I also met several people because I kind of was on my own a lot. And I talked to people from other places on other teams and shared ideas and made friends there. And that was pretty cool.
I love it. And that's one thing that I love about conference too is meeting other people and other teams. So I'm so glad that you did that, Tom, because we learned so much from other organizations because we know what we know, but we don't know what they know. So really trying to branch out and brainstorm with other organizations is really, really smart idea. Who's next?
I'll go next. I too am very excited about the marketing kitchen. I think this is going to be huge because I do spend more time than I probably should in Canva, and I don't want to be there. I would rather pull some of the things that they're doing for us, which is exciting that they are giving us that opportunity to use that. I also like the networking with everybody. I learned so much from so many different people. And Tawn and I, we roomed together. So she gave me a lot of great tips on organizational skills when it comes to our parties and how you track all that information for your host coaching and even following up with other parties and such. And that's something that I lack. I need to be more alert when it comes to host coaching and doing my tracking and my follow-up. So I thought networking was really huge with so many different people.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, one more to tell me about their general takeaway. Stacy, Laura.
Okay,
I'll say mine. Oh, go ahead.
You can go if you want, Stacy. It's okay. Okay. Well, I think this is the teacher in me where, you have to be able to multitask and be the most time efficient with everything you do. So once I learn how to do something, the next thing I think to myself is, okay, how can I make this more time efficient and work smarter, not harder? So I'm playing around a little bit with the booking ideas. Molly was very gracious to share some templates today, but I'm going to try to do your approach, Jennifer, with the daily prize winners, because if it makes it easier for, and I got some of these ideas from sessions and also from you at the conference, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if it makes it easier for people to access my message, that's less messaging I have to send to them, doing second and third reach outs, and then they possibly never get it. So I'm gonna try that and see if it's more helpful. As far as getting bookings, right now, I know it's not the best time of year for everyone getting bookings, so I'm trying to think outside of the box there. But as far as conference goes, I really liked a lot of the leadership sessions, and it's really gotten my brain moving around like how I can continue to build my team and have closer relationships there so people don't fall off. But the other thing I liked was the session on how your host can be your best business partner and different ways to build relationships with them. So I have some ideas in the works just to kind of incorporate into my host coaching. So a lot of good ideas I want to try that I haven't done yet.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that about the class that you like, because one of my next questions was, what was your favorite class that you took or session that you took that you would recommend if people were to watch the playback? What would be the one you would recommend for them? And you can either say out loud or you could put it in the chat group. Because I really would like, there's a lot that I want to watch back too. Of course, just, making the time to do that. I want to prioritize them. And I think a lot of us want to as well. So they did not record the social media one or the director one, to my knowledge. But as far as the others, what were your favorite? Now, I heard Donna Landy's class was wonderful. I don't know which one she taught. Which one was that, Laura?
Man, I don't remember what it was called. It was the one right after I sat with you. But I mean, she talked through, so it would have been, was it the
It would have been the upper
Thursday?
level. The upper
The
level.
upper level Thursday?
Okay.
Yeah, it was after you had stepped out of the room. I was with Leah. Leah was there, but she talked all about how she works with her teams, does the weekly meetings. She gave Love Carpenter a shout out about that. And big Energy Bus fan. And she was just very positive and uplifting. She was really good.
Awesome. Real quick before we move on that, I want to tell you these two things before I forget. I want to make sure you're aware of. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we do have a one of the multi-brain people that's going to do a class for us tonight for Marketing Kitchen. 8 o'clock tonight. I did put that link in our director chat. That's only for people that attend a conference, because those in person, even those virtual people, they don't have access to Marketing Kitchen yet. So just the people that attended conference live is who you want to make sure. I put it in our conference chat. But so that's tonight. And then tomorrow night is the post-conference recap. So that's for everyone, especially those that did not attend conference. I really would push your virtual attendees to get on that too, because the problem with virtual is that they think they can do it anytime and then they don't do it. So I would try to get them on that as well. And then I just got off a phone call with Love and Jen, and we are going to, and I've been trying to get this together, and it's one of the things at the bottom of the list. I love The Energy Bus. The Energy Bus is the book that motivated me to get things in gear, which led us to our executive promotion. So I've really been wanting to do another book study with that. And so we are going to partner with Love and Jen and do kind of a book study, kind of a training based off of that. And that'll be coming in August. So I don't have the date for that yet, but yeah. So I would say go ahead and get the book if you don't have it. If y'all haven't read that book, that is phenomenal. It is so easy to read. I literally read it to my daughter as a bedtime story when she was 8, and she loved it. Like, she loved the story behind it too. So that's coming down the pike. And then also, I know we just got back from conference, but we are getting a fall retreat together already. We're looking at September 13th, 14th, 15th in North Carolina. So if you want to mark your calendars for that. So it will be Friday night. So people could travel in Friday and then Saturday, maybe Sunday morning. I don't know all the details. We're just getting that together. Okay. Anybody else have another class or another, like a biggest tip? Like what is one tip that you heard at conference that you were like, oh my gosh, how did I never know that? Or I have to implement that right away.
I got one. I don't even know who told me this. On the table platform, you know how you can put a video link in the beginning of it and you can record your own or whatever. Apparently there's a table 101 video and I found it and that's when I stuck in there. I don't know who told me that. Susan, was that you?
Yeah, I don't know if it was me. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't even get to take the table 101 class or the 201 because we were doing the social media that day.
Yeah. This was just in conversation with somebody. We were talking about table and how it really wasn't been very effective for us or whatever, and who has time to make a video on top of everything else. But anyway, they said, you know, it was just it's less than 2 minutes, I think, and you just put it in there and then people can understand a little bit more about how to navigate and what table's for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't me because I wasn't sure how to put that video in there. And I do remember seeing them talk about that, but I wasn't the one with the suggestion, sorry.
Now there is the video that explain if this is what you're talking about. There is a table that like an advertisement of what table is for customers. It is a marketing imagery that you can download. That's what I use in my parties at the beginning of the party.
Use it both at the beginning of my party and in the table link where it says that you can add the video. So it's there twice, 2 different places.
I understand how you add that. How do you, what?
You just copy and paste. You just take the link from marketing imagery and you just paste it into that box. It's simple.
Okay. Have to look into that. So as soon as they go into table, they see that video? Is what you're saying?
So theoretically, they see that video twice. Theoretically, they see it once in my party because I downloaded it and put it in the party.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they join table, they see it again when they click on the table.
Oh, okay.
So it's like more, I don't know. I'm thinking more is better, but it may
Okay.
not be, but
I just
So,
put
yeah.
that link in the comments.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anybody else have another tip? One thing that I was really blown away by, I didn't even go to the social media class. I wish I had. This is just, oh, it was what Lynn put in the chat about, or Joni or somebody, how, you know, we try to boost other people's algorithm by commenting. So if I see Tom post something, I'm trying to comment on hers to boost her algorithm. And then I'll try to comment on Susan's and Laura's and everybody's. Well, they say that's actually not good because then Facebook is just going to show me Tom stuff and Tom my stuff. And then it looks and sees Pampered Chef. And it's like, oh, everybody that has Pampered Chef in their bio wants to see it, and then they're just showing all my stuff to Pampered Chef people, which is not what I want to happen. So as much as I love commenting on my team's stuff, like on their personal wall, I'm gonna have to try to like pull back not to do that. So then that saves that space for other people because it only shows it to 100 people on their friends list, was my understanding. And so I need it to be shown to 100 other people, not to, I have more than 100 people on my team that are on my friends list. So I don't want them seeing all, not that I don't want you seeing it. Y'all are more than welcome to borrow anything, but I want it to go out to customers and potential hosts. So that was a huge aha for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this whole time I never knew that. Susan said she loved the message about making our pictures real by inserting our picture into. Yeah, I try to put my picture in everything I possibly can, especially my parties. Anything else? Any other really big?
I thought, again, this comes from that session I went to about your host being your business partner, which I've never tried this, and I need to find a way to be direct, but yet polite at the same time. But I need to find a way, some wording to use, but I would like to try the approach of, from the beginning, asking the host to be thinking about a certain number of friends that they think would like to host a party and put them in connection with them by like doing a three-way message, not a group message, but three-way. So between the host, their friend, and me. And I've heard that they are more likely to commit to hosting if there's a little bit closer communication there with their friend involved. I was just curious if any of you guys had done that. No? Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to
Hey,
run the dog back on. Did what?
The three-way messaging between the host, a friend that might be interested in hosting, and then you. I was wondering if anyone here had tried that before. Some of the people at the conference were talking about how they, early on in the party, they will ask their host to think of a certain number of friends they think would be interested in hosting, and then ask if that host would be willing to do a three-way message between you, the host, and them. And they're much more likely to have like a higher success rate of actually hosting a party that way.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that, and it's one of the things I would like to start implementing. I just haven't yet. But one of my really good friends that does it and has really good success with it, she says that she tells her host, hey, Facebook's really acting funny and not allowing me to send my messages to service your customers the best way that I can. Would you mind picking your top 10 party most involved guests and put them in a three-way chat so I can make sure they have all their questions answered, and they do it. And I was like, whoa, that's really a good way to do that. So
Mhm.
I definitely think it would be worth a shot.
Yeah, definitely. And they did say in the session to be careful to not confuse three-way messaging with group messaging, because you don't want to put 10 people in a group chat, because that
Right.
just ticks them off and then they don't want to
Right.
do anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else? All right. So, every time I go to conference or a big event with the home office, I'm always reminded of like why I love this business and why I started it and why I love to share it with other people. And it just kind of brings that whole passion back in me, which I needed. I really needed a good just kick in the pants. But then also, thinking about that, it makes me kind of reevaluate what our team used to be like and what I want it to continue to look like in the future. So I really would like for us, we typically will do a word of the year at the beginning of the year, and we'll pick a word that we want to be our mantra for the year. So I kind of want you all to think on that, you know, that idea of if your team could look you could have 3 descriptive words for your team. What would those 3 words be? And then also, I want you to think about what are the 3 descriptive words of your team right now? And they might look a little different. Because mine right now, my 3 descriptive words are not necessarily the best. So I want you all to just take a second and think about it. Write down the 3 that describe your team right now. And then at the end of the year, what do you want to stand at December 31st? Looking at your team, what do you want those 3 descriptive words to be?
Do you want us to say it out loud, what we are now and what we want to be?
Well, I want you all
Or
to
do you
write
want-
them first, and then I'm gonna ask for volunteers that want to share. In a minute.
Okay.
Anybody still thinking? I know it's kind of hard. All right, so I'm going to share mine. And this is hard for me to hear because, you know, we're one of the few nationals in the organization, but currently I feel like as a whole, we are stagnant, we are discouraged, and we are decreasing dramatically, which hurts my heart big time. So at the end of 2024, I want us to be growing. I want us to feel empowered, and I want us to feel confident. So those are my 3 words. Anybody else like to share theirs?
Sure. Currently, my team is part-time, inconsistent, and passive. I would like us to be consistent, engaged, and successful. However, I never really intended to have a team, as Jennifer knows. And I'm not a recruiting type. I just have them because I have them. I'm pretty happy where I'm at, so.
Okay. But still, the ones that you have, you want them to be, say your 3 words again. I didn't get them written down.
Currently or future?
Future.
Consistent, engaged, successful.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to share?
I have mine now is unmotivated, unengaged, and unplugged.
Okay.
Where I want them to be at the end of 2024 is excited, inspired, and motivated.
Okay. Love it. Anybody else want to share? You don't have to.
I feel like this is a little bit hard just because different people on my team are at different spots.
Mhm.
So although I know we could be much stronger and have a lot of room for growth, I can't, like, part of me says part of my team is weak, but the other part is steady. We definitely have room for improvement. So my words for the end of 2024 are to be effective, strong, and collaborative, because one thing that we lost in my team when I kind of fell apart, my team fell apart, we lost that, all of our closeness, our collaborativeness, you know, so.
Love it. I love it. Laura, I actually would be curious to hear yours because you're still a newer team and you all are like really hitting it hard. So yours, you may not feel some of the things that we're feeling as a whole compared to what we felt, you know, before. So I'll be curious to hear.
Okay, well, so I haven't counted in a while, but I think between me, my personal team, Christy's team, and Melissa's team, I think we're sitting around like maybe 20 people-ish. But through talking to Christy and Melissa, all 3 of us very much are carrying our own personal teams. Like, we're cranking out the sales, but it's us that's doing it. So my 3 words for my personal team, not for Melissa or Christy, because this isn't true about them, but overall, my personal team, my first word that I picked was stagnant. Second was unmotivated, and 3 was non-engaged. And I would like them to be engaged, inspired, and confident. And, when I think about my classroom, and if that was my classroom, it would 100% come back to the relationships that I'm building with my students. So my next thought in my mind is, okay, well, I know where I want it to be. How do I get there? And it comes back to, I think, relationships and how to, and it's hard when you're virtual, like during the pandemic, doing all the virtual teaching, it was so difficult. It was very difficult. But that was one thing we really tried to do as teachers. And Ton, are you a teacher too?
Retired kindergarten.
Oh, congratulations. But I know that was one thing we really focused on during the pandemic is we know we're going to give them grace before grades. We're going to do everything we can to help them be happy humans and really work on building our connections with them as much as we could. And, I feel like this is a similar situation because some people that helped me promote have already started to drop off. And I think sometimes that's going to happen no matter what. It's not the right fit for everyone. And
Or it's
maybe
not
it's like a diamond
sometimes.
in the rough.
It's all the
Yeah.
time. The people
Yeah.
that promote you to director are not the ones that will keep you there. So that's why we have to keep filling that funnel. We have to keep adding people to our team because you will
Right.
always have people coming out of that bottom of the funnel.
Correct.
Yeah. So Laura is hitting on what my next question is what are 3 things that we can implement in our business to move us from where we are now to where we want to be at the end of this year? So I want to take a few minutes for us to write down 3 things of what we're going to do, what we're going to be intentional about, to get us where we want to be. So let's do that and then we'll share. And then if anybody's finished and they would like to share, I would love to hear.
All right, here's the things I think I'll try with my team. One is providing more information to the group in small tidbits. I do provide some for them, but we'll do more of that and in small tidbits because they don't like to read. 2, reach out more individually. I do group, our Facebook group, and I do our group message or chat, but I don't reach out to them individually very often. Again, they're really not very engaged and they really want to be part-time. So it's difficult. And then continuing to lead by example, do the things and show them that I'm doing them. That's why I am where I'm at.
I like it. I like it. Anybody else?
Okay, here's what I got. So I've got 3 things and then I've broken them down a little bit more detailed. The first thing is build relationships, maybe utilize more videos, maybe some team building activities, maybe having a weekly call. I've never done that. More praise. Second thing I have is acknowledge and celebrate their success through shout outs and rewards. Third thing I have is communication, more frequent check-ins, feedback, and resources.
Love it. I love it. I like how you took the category and then you subdivided it, teacher in you. That's definitely the teacher in you. Because if you say, I want to build stronger relationships, what I want you to do after we get off the phone is like, how do you plan to do that? How can you, um, work with them one-on-one more? What are the specific action items and how often are you going to do that? So we'll leave with some more of that in a little bit. And then, and I want to offer you all too some time as you work through your goals and your actions and things that you want to do. If you would like to schedule a call with me so I can help you fine tune those and figure out like, what does that mean? Yeah, I want to work with my team more, but I don't really know what that looks like. Maybe, we can get on the phone and I can help you fine tune that to make it actionable and make it timely, right? Because you know, just saying something in general doesn't get you there. So, all right, anybody else?
I'm sorry, I missed that. I had to take a call from the doctor's office. What was the question?
So Susan, we are taking the descriptive words of what our team looks like now and what we want it to look like at the end of the year. What are the 3 things that you're going to put in place to get you to these, your future team?
So for me, it's recruiting is number one, because I need to bring on more team members. I need to rebuild my community with my team by having expectations and team goals. I kind of got away from that. And then as far as loving on my consultants, doing more one-on-ones and happy mail. I'm really, really bad all of a sudden about getting happy mail out. And I do think that definitely helps to keep them like engaged and excited. And
Yeah,
so
I agree with you. My list is very similar to a lot of your all's. Mine is more personal coaching, more one-on-one calls. And because I feel like sometimes people don't know what they want out of their business and they may feel like that they're not capable of doing more, or they think they're part-time because they don't feel like they could do more than that. And so when I get on the phone with people one-on-one, I open up their mind to the possibilities and what they really could do. And so I'm gonna that's my plan, is to implement more one-on-one coaching with my personal team, but then also with my leaders. And then just like Stacy said, it starts with me growing the team. So I have to get my recruiting back in gear. And you all, the company has said ever since I've been in the beginning, you need to recruit 2 every single month to continue to fill your funnel. And if there is a month that you are not recruiting 2, you are going backwards. And it is the truth. It is the truth. I have not up until a couple years ago, was a huge recruiter. And recently it's like all the things on my plate, for some reason, that's just kind of gotten swept under the rug, or I was okay if I didn't get 2 recruited this month. Oh, I'll catch up next month. Well, the next month never comes because I'm, still trying to put all these fires out. And so that's one thing that I have to get back in doing. And from my experience, I have to make 10 recruiting contacts every day to get my recruits that I want. I say every day, I do 5 days a week, right? So Monday through Friday, and I do 10 recruiting contacts every single day. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm going to get back to my 10 recruiting contacts every single day to find more people, because we've got to rebuild. Like, recruiting fixes everything. It really does. So I'm back to my 2. Actually, my goal has always been recruit 4 a month. So I'm going to get back to my recruiting 4. And then consistent call schedules for my team. So back to our director calls every single month, no matter what. Back to like our getting back to like director bound calls, and then also like an Elevate or something. That's what Love and I were talking about, is getting just taking these people that are kind of like part-time or hobbyist and, pouring into them to help them feel confident and to learn the skills they need to take their business further.
Hey, Jennifer, can I speak on that a little bit?
Yeah.
So, my consultant Donna came to conference with me.
Mhm.
Do you know about her?
No.
So I had a one-on-one with her in March, and she was like, Stacy, this just, I think I'm gonna quit. This isn't for me. I'm not one to be on Facebook all the time. I'm just, I just retired. I really don't want this. Well, next thing I know, she had an in-home party, and that is where she took off. After her telling me she was like not really into this. So I think, it's super important to really do those one-on-ones, because had I not explained, well, you don't have to be on Facebook. There are other options, vendor events, in-home parties, whatever you want to do. She just didn't want to be on the computer all the time. Once I explained to her that she could be successful in other areas, she took off. She signed up for conference. I was like blown away because she was like done.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that, just goes to show how important our one-on-ones really are.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I agree 1,000%, because think back to when you were a new consultant and how insecure you felt and how easy, even to this day, how easy it is to, when you haven't connected with somebody in our organization and you haven't talked to them or you haven't been on a call, how easy is it to drift off and think, maybe this isn't for me? Right? It's easy. It is so easy, because in the back of our minds, Pampered Chef is always an option. And it's always an option not to do it. And so when we reach out to our consultants and we have that regular contact, that phone conversation with them, not typing it out, but they hear our voice, they hear our inspiration, our belief in them is what keeps them going. And if we're only talking to them once a month or once every 2 months, 3 months, they're not going to stick with it. They need that constant reminder, that constant motivation, that constant belief in them that they don't have in themselves. And I can always tell when I haven't been consistent with talking with my people, directors or personal recruits. I always see a huge dip, because their belief isn't strong enough, and they need my belief, pushing their belief and helping them with things that they have issues with that they can't get through themselves. Because when people feel like they have to do it themselves, they don't. They just lose that motivation. They lose that excitement. They lose that belief. So that is the crucial key. And I will tell you, anytime my business has been good or we have promoted, it's because I have been on the phone with people. So
That's something that I wanted to share too, Jen, because you and I, when we were flying home, we talked about a couple things, especially when we were waiting to land. One of the things that I want to do with my team is to send out a questionnaire to each of them to fill out and send back to me, because as Stacy was saying, everybody has different ideas of where they want their business and what they want from it. And I can't just assume they all want everything that I want for them. And that's where I lose track of my team, because I'm trying to work so hard to get it for them. And I'm not paying attention to myself and keeping my business going. So I'm going to send out the questionnaire, and I'm going to make a list of things that I want to ask them just to kind of see where they're at. Then I want to do the one-on-one calls with them, so that way I can actually talk to them and steer them away from some of the fears that they have, because I think they make a mountain out of a molehill, so to speak, when there's really nothing to be afraid of. I can help quench some of those fears. So I want to do that, but I need to really focus also on more recruiting. Like you say, 2 a week, or 2 a month, no matter what. And that's where I failed, because I know for a fact that there's people that I've missed that have been in parties, because all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this girl. I should follow up with her. But how many months has it been since I followed up with her? When I should have followed up with her right from the very beginning. The minute I saw that she was like active in a show or even gave me a hint of something that she was interested in. So I need to do that a little bit more so I can do more recruiting. And to call my team directly and stay in touch with them as opposed to just messaging them. That's not a good thing because they need to hear my voice more. And Happy Meal, I am in agreement about the Happy Meal. I gotta say that I don't do as much as I should with that. Excuse me. We should have, like, I've got my cards for being green by the 15th of the month. Am I consistent on sending those out? No, but you know what? That's something that they're going to get in the mail. It's like, oh my gosh, she remembered. So I need to get better about that too. So those are my things that I'm going to focus on for my team. And hopefully I can turn it around and get the ones that are inactive back to being active and back to being motivated and back to being excited about their business and pull some more people in. So I have all that extra to be able to keep my team growing and get it where we need to be.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that we take advantage of the chat groups way too much. The chat groups should only be like to get information out. Not to, they definitely don't motivate our teams. They don't. And so we need to get back to that one-on-one. Definitely some voice clips in there. If we can't make the time to be on the phone with them, at least do some voice clips so they hear you, that they know that you care, that they know you're around, checking in on them. So one thing I would maybe suggest is, what if it's like check-in Monday? So every Monday you go through and you check in with everybody. And one thing that I learned from working with Kathy Cocazella at the home office is that you have to find out where they are right now. And what do they plan to do this week to move their business forward? So, and you all will find this if you have coaching calls with me, and I know Susan's heard it a lot, but I'll get on the call with you all and I'll say, okay, tell me about your week. And so they'll tell me a little bit about their week and I'll say, okay, tell me what you did well and what you could have done better. And then we kind of talk through some of the things, and I ask them, is there anything that you want to work on in your business right now that you could use my help with? And maybe they'll talk about, oh, well, you know, my hosts aren't doing blah, 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 or my guests aren't participating or whatever. So we kind of go through some of those things. And then before we get off the call, I say, okay, give me 3 things that you are going to implement this week in your business to move your business forward. And they have to list the 3 things. And I make it be very detailed. So if they say I want to recruit more, I'll say, okay, how many more? And how many do you want to recruit this month? And then they tell me, and I'll say, okay, how many contacts do you need to make in order to recruit to? And how many are you going to do each day? And when are you going to do those? Like really break it down. Because I feel like people need to have it. They need it written down. They need it to be timely. They need to be, you know, relevant, all of the things. And so then after they've given me those 3, because I know Susan does this with me or I do it with her, then I'll say, okay, send me your list of 3 actions through Messenger. So then she sends it to me, which is holding herself accountable. And then I can check in with her at the end of the week and I'll say, okay, Susan, you told me you were going to contact 10 people a day about recruiting. How did that go for you? And then Susan, hopefully, will be honest with me and she'll say, oh, they went great. I did good. I had these leads. Or, you know what? I really had some issues with my husband's health. We had to go do this or whatever. And I'll say, okay, Susan, I understand. How are you going to make up? Like, how are you going to fit that in now since you weren't able to last week? So, but they are telling you what they are going to do. One of the best things we can do as a leader is to listen, ask, and listen and reiterate what they say and help them hold themselves accountable for the things that they decide they're going to do in their business. So with that being said, since you all made the time out on the call to be on the call today, I want to offer my time to you all to go through these things. So what I would like for you to do, if you want to set up a phone time with me, I want you to message me your 3 words that describes your team now, your 3 words that you want it to be before the end of the year, and your 3 actions that you plan to put in place to get there. And then once I get those, I can send you my Calendly link so we can set up a time and we can really delve into that and what that looks like, and then go over anything. Maybe let's even add in 3 questions that you have for me, or 3 questions that you would like help with. That's a lot. I know it's a lot, but we got to start somewhere, right? And then I want you to also add, if you could not fail in your Pampered Chef business, what would it look like 1 year from now? If you could not fail, what would your business look like 1 year from now? Would it be a promotion to a higher level? Would it look like excellence awards? Would it look like you making a certain dollar amount in order to afford your family paying the mortgage, or quitting a job? I know a couple of you all may have mentioned that. What would that look like, and why is that important? Okay. So even people watching the playback, you can get in on this. I want you to get in on this and send me these once you watch the playback. And that's my goal, and that's my commitment to you all, is to really take this time and invest in you all and help you get where you want to go in your business. Yes,
And before we
Stacy?
go, do you guys remember, I put it in the chat, but I don't know if y'all saw it. When Doris was on stage, she had a comment about recruiting. I did not write it down. I wish I would have. About sharing the opportunity. I cannot remember that, what she said. Does anybody remember that? I want to put that up on my wall.
The very last session?
Well, she said it in the beginning, and I think she reiterated it at the end, but darn, for the life of me, I can't remember what that saying was about sharing the opportunity, not keeping it to ourselves. But there's something that she said, it was so profound. I'm like, I need to put that on my wall, but can't remember it. And I didn't write it down.
Kayla went live during that closing remarks at the very end. Do you think she said it during that part? Because it might
Oh,
be
it's
on Kayla.
possible. Very possible. I'll have to go look at that.
Well, you can also watch go back into the playback and maybe just watch that little segment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can fast forward it and rewind it and all that for the playback.
Yeah, I'll do that because, oh, that was so profound. I want to put that up on my wall and remember that every time about sharing the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, I am really excited about the potential and really getting ourselves back in the mindset of where we want to be. And Laura asked me, and when we were sitting together in one of the general sessions, she asked me if we had a mission statement, and I haven't. I do. I've had a mission statement since before we promoted to executive, and that's really what kind of propelled us forward to where we were going. And I haven't put it out there in a very long time, so I want to get back out there, and just really keep it, in the front of our minds. And the mission statement that I created was really to help others. All right. So it is, and I'll post this, I want to make another graphic of it, but it's to empower, elevate, and inspire others to be the best version of themselves through their Pampered Chef business. And I truly feel like that God has given me the gift of inspiration and empowerment to others. And I feel like I have not been fulfilling that lately. So that's what I want to get back to, is to make other people feel their potential, that they don't even know is there. So I want to get back to empowering others, to lifting others up, to inspiring them to be a version of themselves that they didn't even know they were capable of. And I know that I'm capable of teaching other people that. I just kind of let myself forget. And that's important, because one of my favorite things about this business is to make other people feel good about themselves. As women, we generally have very low confidence. And I have in the past thrived myself on helping others be more confident in their own skin, and to know that they are important and they are valued. And that's one thing that our organization has had in the past and just overwhelmingly felt. And I do, just want to apologize if we haven't felt that lately. I think a lot of times just getting in the hustle and bustle of everyday life and things bogging us down and putting out fires, that we tend to lose sight of what is really important to us. And what's really important to me is that you all feel as important as you are. That I honestly feel like each and every one of you all, God has led you to our team for a specific reason. And that you are important and you are loved, and that I want to make it my goal that you continue to feel that. And so that's what I plan to do over the next couple months, is really just bring that love and that community back to our organization that we have had, but maybe hasn't been as present lately. So with that, my friends, I'm gonna let you go. And Tom, real quick, I know you had to jump off, so before you get off, I want to just tell you, and everybody else can get off too. I'm just going to give her the instructions of what to do. But you all, thank you so much for being on the call today, and I look forward to getting messages from you all with your goals and all of that, and then getting on the phone with you all and chatting some. Okay, you all have a great day. I love you guys. Let me hit
Thank
on
you.
stay on. I'm going to stop the recording if I can find where the button is now.